We celebrate a quarter of a century of rallying down the narrow lanes of Lurgan's public park this week, as Ireland's first rally showpiece event is blessed with star names, superb weather and first-class entertainers for the Trident Shires Lurgan Park Rally. "25 years ago, the energies of the North Armagh Motorcycle and Car Club brought rallying to the people of Lurgan, as once a year, the squirrels hide away as Lurgan Park is taken over for the day by the blow-ins from Rallyland.
Today, a piece of history is being created in Lurgan Park, as 25 years ago, Bertie Fisher was the first person to stand on the winner's rostrum. And in those past 25 years, some great names have given us some great action.
And those trees have often become part of that action. But it's been the thrilling battles that have brought the thousands through the gates over the years.
We have the venue, we have the central arena, we have the splendid scenery and everything else that goes with it, and the help of Craigavon Borough Council, of course.
There simply has not been a venue to compare with Lurgan Park for this type of event.
We've always tried each year to try and make improvements, and it's very difficult. But I think the entry itself, we've established ourselves on the marketplace, and we've always managed to get one or two of the top line guys competing every year, and that brings the interest.
World champion Ari Vatman, the late Tony Pond, who won here in '91, Harry Rovanpara, '86 winner Michael Sundstrom, Alistair McRae, Patrick Snars and Gwyndaf Evans have all starred.
However, one man has been indomitable, Kenny McKinstry, 10 times winner. Is it any wonder they call him the King of the Park?
20 years have spanned the King's victories, starting with the Mark II Escort in 1983 and finishing last year with the WRC Subaru. The man from Banbridge, who started in the lawnmower trade, has scythed his way across the park grass to be first an amazing 10 times. But this year he's going back to his roots. Yes, it's shades of the early 80s, as Kenny's back in a full-house BDA Mark II Escort. When you look back over your rallying career and see all those trophies on the sideboard, Lurgan Park be really top of the list?
It is. I mean, the Lurgan Park is always one that you want to win, you know, and it's a really good one to win. It's a good one from the local point of view to win, you know, and it gets a lot of press and TV, and it's a good rally for me.
With Kenny not challenging for the top positions this year, that leaves the door open for two former British champions, Mark Higgins and Jonny Milner. Jonny is giving the Skoda Octavia WRC its first Irish appearance, and he's no stranger to Lurgan Park.
I've not really driven the car yet, so the first stage will be the first time in action, so yeah, exactly. Get to know it as quickly as possible, by the time I hit second gear, I think, and then get on with it.
It's Mark Higgins' first visit to Lurgan Park and first time in Shane Braniff's Hyundai Accent WRC.
There's a lot of quick boys here, and I think you need to know a little bit about the park to get some good times. The first stage is not going to be so technical, but later on when it gets onto the gravel, it's going to be very, very interesting. But I think there'll be nothing between it, and it should be a good battle.
A man who was quick on his first visit last year, Kevin Lynch, will be a big threat just 1 week after the Dog Leap Rally victory. Dennis Biggerstaff is always a threat in the Howling Metro 6R4, and the park party has also included a bevy of UTV beauties over the years. Claire McCullum is with Michael Curran this year, and former winner Pamela Ballantyne with Gary Jennings.
Well, Claire, I think we're a bit surprised to see you back after the 5 books last year. Well, yes, so am I. It was a total of 5, a grand total of 5. I'm hoping not to book this year. I've come prepared with my ginger ale and my sick bag, so fingers crossed I'll be all right.
And you've also switched allegiances in the current camp.
I have indeed, yes. I hear Michael's not just as erratic as his father behind the wheel, so hopefully I'll be all right.
And you're in the same group as me this year, Group N.
So it's war?
Yes,
Absolutely.
it's definitely the war of the sofa.
We're going to take it.
Yeah, right. Fighting talk, McCollum.
While Divness Head definitely won't get peace sitting alongside Dickie Curran, the cars are the stars in Lurgan Town Centre as the amazing lineup of machines gets a mayoral send-off of the 25th anniversary event. Reigning British champion Jonny Milner is first away to tackle the 8 stages. It's the first start for Jonny Milner in a Skoda, but he doesn't look like a man who is unfamiliar with his motor car. He's third fastest in stages 1 and 2, but is just 2 seconds off the lead. That lead has been held by Lurgan newcomer Mark Higgins, who has Michael Gibson on the pace notes. He is fastest in the first 2 tests, despite suffering a misted windscreen on stage 1, but it's very close with just 2 seconds separating the first 3 drivers. Lighting up the rear tyres and evoking fond memories of its competition heyday, Kenny McKinstry is really enjoying his ride in the Mark II Escort. He's been entrusted with this car by its owner, Martin Downey, who is very much enjoying the ride from the passenger seat.
You just need to use first gear in or rather than second.
It's Kevin Lynch's second visit to the park, and the Dungiven driver gets some good advice from co-driver Francis Regan on the approach to this bend.
Turn, square left and sign, don't cut, turn in late. Repeat, turn in late. Come on, dab the brakes, dab them. I'm dabbing them. Flat right, flat left, 30.
He's on for a good time here, despite finding out that it could have been even better.
Good as wrong.
But
and the diffs on.
For stage 2 though, the diffs are definitely on, and the KPL car is about to set second fastest time.
well done. Bridge, flat right, flat left, 30, brake at crest and turn square right.
Niall Maguire has been hampered by a broken toe. It must be affecting his braking foot. Wallace Gas, in contrast, has had 2 tidy runs and is in 8th. But Cathal Arthurs is far from tidy as the slippery line from the trees catches him out. It doesn't seem much, but the delay drops him to 20th. His teammate Dennis Biggerstaff makes a determined start, but even Dennis is about to be caught out. But still, he's in early 7th. Glenn Allen is 9th after the first 2 tests and nearly overdoes it here. But Adrian McIlvanney does overdo it. Doing extremely well though is Kevin Barrett, a superb 4th in the Triton Shires car. And that's 2 places ahead of Donegal driver Daniel Doherty, who uses all of the Lurgan lanes to his advantage. We haven't seen much of Daniel in recent times. English forestry expert Warren Philliskirk is a welcome visitor, and he should be used to the trees, as should Scottish forestry man Neil Dugan, who is a little over-eager early on, and he's penalised for a fraction jump start. James Gillen, on the other hand, has rocketed to an early 5th place. Ollie O'Donovan is a neat and tidy 10th. with former driver Ed Simon co-driving. But Craig and Roger Bennett fall foul of the slippery left-hander in the ex-Frank Maher Focus. Hoping for a smoother run in Group N is Pamela Ballantyne with Gary Jennings in a hard Subaru, and he is third behind a hard-charging Dickie Curran. But it's the other UTV girl, Claire, that is leading the group in 12th place overall with Michael Curran driving. Claire is acclimatizing to this rally game. One place ahead is the top two-wheel drive car of Keith White, whose opposition surprisingly is coming from the flying little 1600cc Peugeot of Mark Doyle. Tarmac Championship Group N leader Desi Keenan is out in a Mark II today.
Go! 160 chicane, right Anthony.
Blasting off the line in their Mark II Escort are Camillus Bradley and Danny O'Neill.
Turn square right. Keep it going.
It's their first visit to the park in Camillus's immaculately self-built car, and already they're in fourth amongst the two-wheel drive drivers. Just a few seconds off the lead.
Into K-lap plus, cuts and flat right into St. Chicane.
Stuart Clark is fully lit in his RS 1800. And Oma's Paul Barrett is always admiring the park through the side windows. The stage turns from tarmac to gravel, and Kenny McKinstry is really turning back the clock as he drifts the Outdoor Services Mark II around the loose tracks adjacent to the famous lake. Thankfully, only one car in 25 years has dipped its headlights in there. Now it's round the tight hairpin and back onto the tarmac and the sharp left into the car park. The car park's just coming up, but then it's back onto the back loop as used on stages 1 and 2 to finish off stages 3 and 4. For Mark Higgins, it's his first time in the Lurgan Park Loose, and on slick tyres it's all the more exciting. The Manx man will not be fastest here, and his lead is whittled down to just 1 second. And then he has a small overshoot on stage 4. The big threat now is Kevin Lynch, whose gravel techniques have made him the new Southern Irish forestry champion. We now see the KPL S9 Subaru slither a second closer to Mark Higgins and the lead of the Lurgan Park Rally.
To tight 3 left and green tip, don't cut. Good grip here, 30, 5 right, 20, careful, 3 left and gate cut. And there's going to be 4 right cut, into 5 right, into 3 left and C cut, 20, 6 right.
On stage 4, the Dungiven driver is even quicker and is about to move into the rally lead as co-driver Francis Regan checks the time.
02. What was the first time? 04.
Jonny Milner, however, is dropping back on the gravel sections. He doesn't feel as comfortable with the new car and loses 3 seconds to the leader on these 2 tests. Kevin Barrett is 4th, but is about to drop a position. And the hard-trying James Gillen will also drop 1 spot to 6th. Daniel Doherty is another to drop a spot, and here's why. A charging Dennis Biggerstaff has moved from 7th to 4th. Neil Dangerous Dugan is living up to his nickname with some spectacular driving and equally good times. His co-driver, incidentally, is Rory Doyle. Glenn Allen's similar machine is in 8th spot, just 2 scant seconds ahead of Morris Gass. With Ollie O'Donovan rounding off the top 10, just half a second behind Morris. Cathal Arthurs has suffered a stall and is still well off the top 10. Whilst Adrian McIlvanney is trying everything to get in there as he demolishes this fence. Craig Bennett is finding the focus a bit tail-happy here. But Gary Jennings and Pamela are not happy after a jump start and penalty. Claire McCollum is happy, however, as Dickie Curran is coming under immense pressure from his son Michael. By midday, the summer weather has brought huge crowds to the park, and it's Kevin Lynch that most of them are talking about.
The two boys, Milner and Higgins, are they're on a fast pace now, and it's pretty hectic trying to keep up with them, but we'll just have to keep pushing on and try and get to the end, and hopefully it will not be too far away. 3, 2, 1, go!
Stages 5 and 6 are the first anti-clockwise runs, starting at the fast section at the back of the park. Then they turn onto the fast sweeping loose corners, which take the cars past the main gates. These are the corners where time can be made, and Kevin is going for it. These are the dangerous bends, and he's right on the limit.
All right, cut! Suddenly, 3 left.
The effort is superb, and he takes a staggering 3.8 seconds off his nearest challenger on stage 5 and a further second on stage 6. Mark Higgins, in contrast, has had a stall in a 90 right, and he has no answer to Lynch's pace. He's now 4.6 seconds off the lead. Jonny Milner is just 3 seconds behind Mark, and in turn just 6 seconds ahead of the storming Dennis Biggerstaff, who is carrying evidence of a hairy moment at stage 5. Meanwhile, Kevin Barrett is locked in a mighty battle with James Gillen, the two drivers tying for 5th after stage 6. Daniel Doherty is 3 seconds behind this battle and getting used to the loose. But Glenn Allen is no stranger to the loose, and he's lost 10 seconds on stage 5, sliding off and stalling the escort. Maurice Gass gets past the 3 that cost him so much last year, and he's up a place in 8th. Neil Dugan's times would have put him well inside the top 10 if it wasn't for that earlier penalty, and he's in spectacular form. For real spectacle though, there's nothing to match a well-driven escort. Kenny McKinstry is giving Martin Downey a joyride that he will remember in his new motor car. The Banbridge man is using more elbow power each run and more loud pedal. Just listen to that BDA. But speeding his way to top two-wheel drive honours and 10th overall is Keith White in his 300 horsepower 2.4 Escort. And it's a family double as brother Rodney is second in the two-wheel drive category in 15th place. Mark Doyle's little Peugeot 106 was second until spin, and he's just 2 seconds behind, finishing a superb 3rd in two-wheel drive and 17th overall. Desi Keenan and Stuart Clark have their steering racks almost worn out as they finish in 24th and 30th places. Brian Dernian and Martin McGarity finish 32nd, but Paul Barrett will not finish, but he finishes right up in the entertainment stakes, much to the detriment of his front wing. Kieran Graffin is also high in entertainment and is clearly not a bit worried about the excess on his co-driver Paul Den's Corolla. Camillus Bradley and Danny O'Neill, on the other hand, are seriously in the hunt. 3rd in two-wheel drive after 6 stages, and remember, this is their first taste of the park.
Easy,
the DA Developments Escort, however, goes grazing here.
You never get out of there now.
But he does get out to finish 20th and 4th amongst the two-wheel drive cars. This is Davy Aiken's 4-wheel drive, which becomes 3-wheel drive in Group N. And Dominic Carson, another park novice, is 7th in Group N in the PHP Architects Subaru. Gary Jennings and Pamela's penalty cost them 2 places and they finished 6th in Group N. And Conor Burns drags the Modern Tyre Services Evo 4 into 5th. John McLaughlin and David McElroy are 4th, whilst Raymond Johnson has a superb comeback drive to 3rd. Dickie Curran brings Dibner home as 2nd in the group. Billy and Uncle Andy will be pleased. But it is son Michael who takes Claire McCollum to victory and also goes one better than Dad as he doesn't make her sick. But it's a tough day for Dennis Biggerstaff, who does suffer from car sickness, the mechanical variety, and drops from 4th after an excellent drive. Craig Bennett is well down in 26th, just behind a very impressive Neil Dugan, who would have been 6th but for that jump start. The other visitor, Warren Philliskirk, is clearly trying on his way to 18th. Cathal Arthurs has had a hectic day on his way back up to 16th. And Adrian McIlvany nips into 12th. Ollie O'Donovan finished the first stage in 9th and into the rally in 9th. And Glenn Allen is 8th in the venerable Escort WRC. And Maurice Gass is pleased to bring the Subaru home intact this year in 7th. Daniel Doherty speeds up in the last loop to consolidate 6th, just 2 seconds back from the event sponsor, Kevin Barrett, whose mighty battle with James Gillen ended in Gillen's favour by just 3 seconds. Johnny Milner's Skoda surprised many with its speed, including Jonny. 3rd place was achieved despite a last-minute panic with a broken exhaust on the final test. And Mark Higgins on his first visit to Lurgan Park should be happy with 2nd in a car that is also new to him, but he has no answer to the leader on the last 2 tests. Kevin Lynch has been a sensation for a driver who has only been competing for just 2 years. To beat 2 British rally champions on his 2nd visit to Lurgan Park shows the determination and the hard work that he and co-driver Francis Regan have put into their rallying.
Well done, KP.
The British champions are certainly impressed.
Very, very impressed. I mean, I know Kevin, as I said before, has done a lot of rallies this year, but you know, he's not been rallying that long, so he's shown us boys the way to go today.
We wouldn't have caught him really. His pace in the afternoon was very, very good.
So congratulations must go to Kevin Lynch, Francis Regan and the North Armagh Motorcycle and Car Club for bringing us 25 years of the Rally Car Party in Lurgan Park.